Hello and welcome back to OnAir Airline Manager, everybody. And today I'm going to show you how to set up work orders for your AI pilot employees. But before I do that, just a reminder to please smash that like button down below. I really appreciate if you do that. It helps the YouTube algorithm recognize the channel, so it's really fantastic if you can do that. Also, go ahead and subscribe if you're new. Why not? It costs you nothing at all except just a little bit of respect. Now, with that said, work orders. Now, what are work orders? Well, essentially what they allow you to do is set up multi-leg flights for your AI employees. So that means they can fly a number of jobs over a period of time, and it's a great way to earn a bit of money without having to micromanage your employees. So what you need to do for a start is you need to actually identify and grab a few jobs. So what we'll do today is we'll just do a very basic set of work orders. We'll do a 3-leg work orders and show you how to set that up. Now, in a perfect world, what you probably want to do is have your work order starting at your home FBO or your home base, fly whatever legs they need to fly, and then get back within the 9-hour time flight time that they're allowed. And have the pilot rest at your home base overnight. That way you're not paying hotel fees and all that sort of stuff. But we're not going to necessarily do that for this particular episode. We're just going to find 3 flights that work off each other, and wherever we end, we end. The other thing you can do is sometimes you can't find flights that allow you to do a proper round trip. So you can actually fly empty legs to pick up jobs at different airports. It's not ideal because then you're incurring costs of flights without getting income, but sometimes you just need to do it. And given that, particularly if you're not on a survival mode, earning money's pretty basic really, so flying the odd empty flight isn't a big deal. So here we are in our logistics center, and this is where you're going to go ahead and find some flights. So the great thing about the logistics center is that it allows you to search specific parameters to find the flights that you'd like to fly. So because I'm flying a Cessna 172, a couple of key filters I've put in here. One is that I want a maximum of 3 passengers in the job, and I want a maximum of 500 pounds. That way I know that I'm not going to exceed the payload requirements in the aircraft, or the gross weight requirements. I'm looking for small trips between 50 and 250 nautical miles also. And for a start, I'm just going to go to where I am, KMYR, Myrtle Beach, and I'm looking for flights from there. Now I could select flights to here, or I could select flights to a specific airport. You can do whatever you like, and you can also select the airport minimum size. I haven't got small airport jobs in here just to make it easier. So what I'll do is when I query that right there, it's going to take, from memory it shows the 10 closest airports basically that meet your criteria. So as we can see here, there's actually just a little 2-legged job that's available right here. Now this isn't really ideal because I'm going to have to fly both of these legs in order to complete the job, and I need to get back to Myrtle Beach in order to pick up the second part of the job. So what I'll do is I'm going to do a quick little bit of research here to see if this is worthwhile. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay, welcome back everybody, and through the magic of editing, you didn't have to go through the little rigmarole I just did then, but essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the AI pilot to fly the first leg from Myrtle Beach up to New River right here. They'll be carrying both these jobs, by the way. I've got enough space to do that. Then I'm going to get him to make that little short trip over to KISO, which is Kingston Regional Jetport. And so that will then complete the job. He'll get paid for that, which will be great. And then what I did is I just quickly searched on KISO, and we'll just take a look here, and we can now fly this leg here, 2,540, to take myself back down very close to my home base. So that means if I wanted to, I could fly a very short flight back empty to Myrtle Beach. In fact, that's probably what we should do. So I'll take that job also right there. And what we're going to do, did I remember? I almost forgot to take this job, everybody, so we'll grab that one too. And now we've got the jobs. Let's go into work orders and set everything up. Okay, everybody, just before I go and set up the work orders, one thing to check before you set up your work orders is the weather in the local areas you're going to be flying into. So while you're still in the live operations map, it's an easy way to do it. Just go show METARs, and you can see the METAR spread out around the place. We've got the nice little green circles right here, 020 at 5 knots, clear conditions there. So, up at KISO we were going to be going to, no problems there, we're in the green. KNCA will be using this local one here, it's in the green. And then down, as we come down the bottom here, we've also got green METARs, which mean there's no problem at all. Remember that your employees, your pilots, have stress resistance. If the weather's really bad and they don't have much resistance to stress, they're going to divert to the alternate airport, which is just a bit annoying because then you've got to send them off to the right airport once the weather improves. So one thing to check, go ahead and check the weather, and then you're not going to get caught out on that. Right, I'm in the aircraft page here, everybody, and I've got my Cessna 172 at Myrtle Beach. So all I need to do is drop down the More box, and I go to Work Orders. And we'll just think about life for 2 seconds, and it says you don't have any work orders for this aircraft. I know that, so I'm going to go ahead and create a work order. And this is basically where you put together each individual leg and tell the program what you want to happen. It's pretty straightforward once you know what you're doing. You can change the title, so we could just say YouTube work order. I mean, you can call it whatever you like. The first leg will depart from KMYR, so we know about that. We can grab the pilot, which is going to be Ulrich Friedman. He's idling at KMYR, so we can grab him, no problem. We don't need attendance. And then what you want to do is go ahead and load the flights for your particular leg that you want to have on board. Now we know that there's 2 that we want to have there. One is for KISO, which will be our second destination, and the second cargo that we want to load is our equipment pallets here going to KNCA. So our first leg is going to be KMYR to KNCA, but we will have 2 jobs on board. So as you can see here, we're actually exceeded our total weight at the moment, but we are telling it to load the fuel up to 56 gallons. We don't actually need that much. So, because as you can see, range with current fuel is 568 nautical miles. So what we can do is just unload it down until it gets below the gross weight, total weight. There we go. So that's all cool. We're only going to load 44.7 gallons of fuel. The destination for our first leg is KNCA. Nice and easy. As you can see, it says here 2 cargoes, 0 passengers. We've got our pilot set. So that's all you need to do right there, and you can just go add a leg, boom, and there we go. This one right here isn't saved with all the information, and this one here is going to be the next leg in the sequence. Okay, so what we would have done is we would have dropped off one of those jobs from KNCA, from KMYR to KNCA. So that job drops off when we hit KNCA, and now we want to take the remaining job, which is to KISO. So let's put KISO. We've still got range of 453. We'll be able to complete this entire route, in fact, without having to refuel. You could, what I'm telling it here to do is load the fuel back up to 44.7. So every time I stop, it'll just automatically load it to whatever figure I got in here, unless I tell it don't load the fuel right there. If you can see that I don't actually, if I put that, then it's not going to load it up. Whatever fuel you've got in there, it's going to keep. And I'm going to tell it not to load the fuel because it's a very, very short trip, this next one. I just checked to make sure that I've got the electronic devices loaded. I have. You just got to make sure you've got the right cargo in there. And we are good to go. It's as simple as that. Let's go to add a leg. Okay. So now we're saying we're located at KISO, and we're looking to now take this next load from KISO to KSUT. So I put in my destination, KSUT. It sets it all up and puts the alternate actually to our Myrtle Beach. That's how close it is, so that's great. I'm under the total weight. That's completely fine. And I'm telling it... I could reload it up here just to be safe, so I am going to do that. I'm going to tell it to load the fuel back up to 44.7. In fact, it doesn't need to be that much. Let's take it down to about there. If it needs to, I'll take it to that. So what I do have to do, everybody, is make sure I load that on there. So KISO, the printed magazines, let's go load. And I'm going to load that on. So that's done and dusted. And how about we send them back home for that very short flight, add a leg from KSUT to KMYR. Easy as that. Do not load fuel. We'll just leave it as it is. Okay, so once we've done that, let's just go through and just check that we've got everything complete. As you can see, we've got the nautical miles right here. I didn't really need to put much fuel in at all, to be honest, but just to show you how to do it in case you're doing long flights. So the first one here, let's just double check. We're going from Myrtle Beach to KNCA. Yes, we are. We've got both the KISO load and the KNCA load. Great, all loaded. We've got Ulrich Friedman. He's in there. We've got enough fuel. We're under our weight. Great. And that's good to go. We then land in KNCA. We offload that first cargo, no problem. We've still got the one for KISO in there ticked. Great, move on. We've got our destination KISO. We then arrive in KISO. We pick up our cargo load right down here. That's going to go to KSUT. Easy as that. Everything's in there. We're going to load the fuel up just a little bit if we need to. That's great. And then once we land at KSUT, we're just going to fly the empty aircraft back to KMYR because there's no jobs ready to go, and that's the round trip. As you can see, 96, 38, 87, and 45. So he'll be able to knock that out in probably 3 or 4 hours. So he won't take up his entire allocation for the day. So what I could do is go and start a new work order from KMYR and do another whole bunch of other flights if I wanted to. Okay, so with that said, everything's set up good to go. Hopefully that makes sense. And just go ahead and say start work order. And once it's just thought about life for a few seconds, it then confirms that it has started. It's showing that we're in progress right here. And it's just going to fly these flights in order as you've told it to. And you don't have to do anything else. So that's great. You know, after a few hours, you come back and he would have earned a little bit of money for you. I mean, obviously what I could do, as I said before, is set up another one after that one, and away you go. The secret really is to have all your pilots fully utilized every day as much as you can. It does take a little bit of work just to set it up, but overall it will save you a great deal of time not having to individually set up flights every time that they finish a particular job. So here we are in our live operations map, everybody, and as you can see, that fuel has been topped up as per our instructions, up to 45 gallons, and we've got good old Ulrich right here in our Cessna Skyhawk G1000, are ready to take that first leg up north to KNCA. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is as easy as that. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. You can see the change right there as he went from active to now taxiing, so that's fantastic. So it's all working perfectly. If we come back in a few hours, he would have been done and dusted, and no problem at all. But anyway, there you go. It is quite simple. It does take a little bit of work, just searching for jobs and then tying them all together. Like I said, if you're not too concerned about shelling out a little bit of money for hotel fees, then you can just get them to fly back empty or stay at another destination that's not your home base. So that's not a big deal whatsoever. So what I should probably do is go and get good old Lucas up here. He's sitting there doing nothing. I should really get a work order together and get him to fly a number of jobs also, and try to get him to sort of finish back near home base if I can. So if you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. Remember, OnAir does have a Discord now, and it's pretty active. There's over 2,000 members in there, so jump on there if you do have access to Discord. A lot of people play together and share ideas. There's a lot of help on there. It's a really good way of getting into it and getting some of your problems solved. But that's work orders, everybody. If you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, everybody, take it easy.